His attacks on the ILA will not be ignored. ILA members in the Port of Charleston are among the best compensated workers in the state of South Carolina.
Why not?
Because it's collective bargaining.
I'll shut them down throughout the world to prove that we can beat. In today's world, I'll cripple you. I will cripple you, and you have no idea what that means. Nobody does.
I've also been talking to the members here on the ground, the individuals here that are now taking to the picket line. They tell me one of their top concerns, inflation.
We did it. We did it, Joe.
Man, I got mixed feelings about this one. This video is brought to you by My Patriot Supplies, brought to you by My Patriot Supplies. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I don't need to give you a lecture on how precious life is and that it can be taken away in an instant. And that's why I keep 4 weeks of emergency food kit from My Patriot Supply in my home, and I keep some here at the warehouse. Let me give you a trick. I don't just have one. I have a few of these, so I have plenty to go around. But with everything going on, we all know how they can do the pandemic and all kind of old crazy stuff, and I don't want you guys to be unprepared. I want you to be prepared. With over 2,000 calories per day, there's enough to go around during times of social unrest, government crackdowns, and God forbid if we have an attack on the homeland. Food lasts up to 25 years. Ready whenever devastation strikes, so you can keep this stuff stored at your house and ready whenever you actually need it. Even in a mass pandemic, and we've seen plenty of them in our lifetime, or at least we've seen one major one in our lifetime. Some of you guys have seen at least two. So it's no shortage of necessity to have something like this in your house. So right now, you can get $50 off the same 4-week emergency food kit that I have right here, that I'm showing you right here. Go to preparewithtatum.com and save $50 off on your 4-week emergency kit, and My Patriot Supply will send it over as fast as humanly possible. Just for an example, I want to show you guys real quick. This is like long grain rice. Here's like an energy drink. So they got a whole bunch of different things in this container that you can then pull out and use. What I will refer you to do is that when you get your container, check it first and have a plan to process how many kids you got, you know, who's going to take what do you need per day. I would ration that and have it prepped before you store it. So I opened mine, I looked at everything, and now I'm going to put it back in with the stuff where I know it's at when I store this, okay? So don't forget, 4-week emergency supply kit, preparewithtatum.com. preparewithtatum.com. Get yours today. Like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell so you get a notification anytime I go live and make a video. You already know what to do. Let's get into this. Ladies and gentlemen, when I say I have mixed feelings about this, I'm all for unions and I'm all for union strikes. However, it's almost like giving in to ransom, right? I mean, if they get what they want, are they going to continue to do this to overinflate what they deserve? Now, I'm not a shoreman. I've never worked a job in my life. I understand wholeheartedly how important these people are. Obviously, they're going to have to do something. My theology, and let me make it full screen for you, but I'm going to show you what they're demanding, and then we're going to comment, and I'm going to show you what the union rep is saying. I'll show you, you know, kind of what this will affect in the United States of America and all of the above. All right, let me show you what the union is saying the workers are asking for. And there's a variety of different things that people are asking, but generally speaking, this is right around where the workers are at. And it says the strike continues. Houston's ports operations remain at a standstill with no resolution in sight. Negotiations have been tense with the ILA seeking a 77% wage increase, which is a lot. That's pretty intense. Over a 6-year contract, which makes it not as bad. However, it says the latest proposal from the U.S. Maritime Alliance offered only 50% raises and tripled retirement contributions, which the union rejected. Now, somebody in the comment section probably could speak to this a little more because you know what this is worth and you will know if the union is asking for too much or not. Generally speaking, if the people believe that they need more compensation, you have to work with them. Or else what? We're going to shut our whole country down? I mean, we actually need these people more than anybody knows, just like truck drivers. If you don't do the truck drivers right, I'm all for them striking and saying, look, y'all better do us right, because they are the most important aspect of the entire country. If you're not driving on the road or over the sea, we have nothing transported, nothing. Your food, toiletries, I mean, you name it, beauty supplies, clothes, everything comes from either port or on the ground. And my thing is this, and I'm not trying to sound like a socialist or nothing, but there are people that run these companies that operate the logistics of some of these ports that are making millions and millions of dollars. I would argue, and I believe this way even in my company, you take care of your people first. You make sure your people good. You never leave a stone unturned when it comes to the quality of life of the people that you're depending on. You don't skimp out on the people and pay them bare minimum because their education is this, and then you making all this money on the high horse. I don't think that's right. Now, is that the situation here? It remains to be seen. I want y'all to hear what the union rep says, or president says. Roll the clip.
These people today don't know what a strike is.
Right.
When my men hit the streets, from Maine to Texas, every single port, a lockdown. You know what's going to happen? I'll tell you. First week, be all over the news every night, boom, boom. Second week, guys who sell cars can't sell cars because the cars ain't coming in off the ships. They get laid off. Third week, malls start closing down. They can't get the goods from China. They can't sell clothes. They can't do this. Everything in the United States comes on a ship. They go out of business. Construction workers get laid off because the materials aren't coming in. The steel's not coming in. The lumber's not coming in. They lose their job. Everybody's hating the longshoremen now because now they realize how important our jobs are. Now I have the president screaming at me, I'm putting a Taft-Hartley on you. Go ahead. Taft-Hartley means I have to go back to work for 90 days. That's a cooling off period. Do you think when I go back for 90 days, those men are going to go to work on that pier? It's going to cost the company's money to pay their salaries. Well, they went from 30 moves an hour maybe to 8. They're going to be like this. Who's going to win here in the long run? You're better off sitting down and let's get a contract and let's move on with this world. And in today's world, I'll cripple you. I will cripple you, and you have no idea what that means. Nobody does.
That's a weird statement, but what do y'all think? I need y'all to comment, because I'm when I was a police officer, we had a union. Because I know traditionally conservatives are not for unions and stuff like that. So I'm not really deep into this part, because the union that I knew was the police union, and we needed them. They were the only thing that kept us from not getting screwed over on the police department. They didn't want to give us raises. 10 years, they didn't give no police officers raises. Guys were lateraling, leaving the department. When I came on, we were making the same salary in the academy as guys that had been working on for 8 years. That is a shame. They weren't doing us right. The city was not prioritizing giving officers fair compensation. And the union fought for us. Or when something bad happens, where there's a shooting or something like that, the union rep will help you with legal representation, help you with the way, they're putting you out in the press, making sure the police department don't throw you under the bus for political expediency. I mean, so the union was good. Now, I don't know. I don't know if other unions are like that, and I don't know if other unions function like that. I don't know if people don't like unions because they try to leverage a free market. I don't know. But what I do know is that if the union is working and operating like they did in the police department, I think we should probably listen to what this man is saying.
The state of South Carolina.
Why not?
His attacks on the ILA will not be ignored. ILA members in the Port of Charleston are among the best compensated workers in the state of South Carolina.
Why not?
Because it's collective bargaining.
I'll shut them down throughout the world to prove that we can beat them.
And that's why I'm proud that I've been the first president to walk a picket line. And be labeled the most pro-union president in history, and I accept it. It's a fact.
In today's world, I'll cripple you. I will cripple you, and you have no idea what that means. Nobody does.
I've also been talking to the members here on the ground, the individuals here that are now taking to the picket line. They tell me one of their top concerns, inflation that we have all been living under for the past 4 years. They say that their wages are not adequately keeping up with the cost of living increase and that they need these wage increases reflected in their next contract so they can just keep up and get.
Sound reasonable to me. I don't know. If you guys find something unreasonable, let me know in the comment section.
Strike for union workers at major shipping ports along the East Coast. Thousands are set to hit the picket line this Tuesday. The International Longshoremen's Association ordering a strike after talks demanding fairer wages hit a standstill. News Nation's Caitlin Becker joins us live from Port Elizabeth, New Jersey. Caitlin, what are we learning here? Major developments since the last time we spoke.
Yeah, truly, Jesse. I was not expecting to hear this today. We're 36 hours before the deadline, and the ILA sent out a communication announcing that they're absolutely going to strike. They're going to walk off the job when their current contract expires. Now, it's a 6-year contract. Each of these contracts are 6 years, and the expiration date is midnight on Monday. So 12:01 Tuesday, these workers are going to walk off the job. There's going to be a full-on work stoppage up and down the East Coast and parts of the Gulf. Now, the ILA has not released any details specifically about exactly where these picket lines are going to be. They said that's going to come likely sometime tomorrow. However, they did note what the major issue was, and it really came down, Jesse, to wage stagnation. They said that the U.S. Maritime Alliance, that is who they're in talks with or were in talks with, just wouldn't come to an agreement about what they called wage subjugation that they said had been happening for years. Now, I have to tell you that from the U.S. MX perspectives, they have said time and again that they were offering industry-leading wages more than the 32%, which was the last hike that their West Coast counterparts got for their contract last year. But the ILA wanted a 77% wage hike, and they just couldn't come to an agreement. Now, these two groups haven't been at the negotiating table for months. These talks stalled back in June. So this is something, kind of an eventuality that we were all expecting. And the ILA president has said in the past that they've been planning for this for a year. So the impacts could be far ranging, though, Jesse.
Can we talk about that? Because what we're referring to, just to make clear for our audience, is essentially the entire East Coast. What is the impact on customers come Tuesday?
Could be pretty large. Probably Tuesday itself, we won't feel it, but the ripple effect, according to retail experts, are things that we could certainly feel. And you said pretty much the entire East Coast, and I actually want to read you the list of the 14 ports that are going to be impacted. They're, of course, the port of New York and New Jersey, which is where I'm at right now, as well as the ports of Boston, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Norfolk, Wilmington, Charleston, Savannah, Jacksonville, Miami, Tampa, Mobile, New Orleans, and Houston. That's a massive, massive number of huge cities. And every single good you can think of flows in and out of these ports. So as I said, the ripple effect could be pretty large. We could be seeing increases in shipping costs, delays in shipments, this backlog that that's gonna sit untouched, not being able to be loaded and unloaded, because that's specifically what we're talking about here, the loading and the unloading of these shipping containers. And one of the things that the union had a problem with was the thought that their jobs could be automated in the future. I think we're hearing that in a lot of different industries, and that's, of course, a sticking point here as well. Now, full automation is off the table. There is a current ban for that already, and the USMX said they're going to keep that. However, they wanted to negotiate semi-automation, and these big cranes that you see behind me at this port, those are things that could potentially be semi-automated or fully automated, and that means these workers could potentially lose their jobs in the future. So in addition to, of course, all of these shipping issues and the ripple effect that could have with commerce as we ramp into the holiday season, all these people are going to be out of a job too. So hopefully the strike won't last for too long, and these two can come to an agreement on each side kind of getting what they want. And we do know that the White House had tried to get these two sides back to the bargaining table because they wanted to avoid this exact situation that we are going to find ourselves in on Tuesday. However, the Biden administration has said that they support collective bargaining, and they've never tried to intervene in a strike in the past, and they are not going to now.
Right for
Yeah, that's kind of interesting because this could be, just looking at it, you know, with my finite understanding of it all, is, and the guy spoke again today. I want to play that clip too.
Clothing won't come in.
Let's see what he said. It's Fox News posted.
Are you worried that this
They
strike?
had the capital to settle this thing.
Are you worried that this strike is going to hurt the everyday American, the farmers that need to reach the export market? They're
Listen,
telling me that they're going to hurt through
Now
all
you
of this.
start to realize who the longshoremen are, right?
Nobody cares.
People never gave a about us until now, when they finally realized that the chain is being broke now. Cars won't come in. Food won't come in. Clothing won't come in. You know how many people depend on our jobs? Half the world. And it's time for them and time for Washington to put so much pressure on them to take care of us, because we took care of them. And we're here 135 years and brought them where they are today, and they don't want to share.
I'm interested to hear somebody's take on this. It sounds, you know, if they're stopping at 55%, 50% instead of 77% over the next 6 years, I'm not understanding. I'm not understanding what the argument is. I guess you don't want people to bargain themselves into getting what they want all the time, right? And I think that there is a part there where they're going to be unemployed too. So it's not just going to be the port's going to shut down. It's going to hurt everybody else, and they still got money. If you shut the ports down and you're not working, you're not getting paid either. So how many days can you go without getting paid? I just wonder, man. You know, I wish I was a little more informed about this stuff, but I'm just giving my perspective and sharing the news, because this could be a big deal. I mean, I don't think you have to be that smart and understanding this entire subject matter to realize that if they do shut these ports down, the American people are going to feel it. It's just like if the drivers went on strike. Truck drivers said, we're not driving trucks anymore. Like, you give it a week and people are going to be eating each other. You know what I'm saying? So these things are very important, and hopefully they come to a negotiation. Comment in the comment section. See you on the next one. I'm out.